Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Sorvent's non-meta tournament number 5, round number 3. And up at the top today we have Wolf 83, who is on B.E.S. And if you don't know, that's the deck with all of the ships. It's kind of cool. Basically Cosmos, but in 2006 format. And down at the bottom, we have Goofy Ghost, who is on Marincess Frogs. So we can go ahead and get into it. And before we start, as always, if you are interested in playing in any of these tournaments, go ahead and join the Discord link in the description below. It's a lot of fun, really good community. And yeah, with all that said, let's get started with it. So looks like Goofy Ghost is going to be taking first, using Sign Up Mining to pitch Sign Up Mining to add a Blue Ting to hand. It's pretty good. He has the Pascalis and the Blue Ting. I think he's honestly all set up to just make his entire plays, and it's just going to be great. So Blue Ting is going to be summoned here, sending Seahorse to the grave. Blue Slug's going to add the probably the copy of Seahorse to hand, or maybe not Seahorse, but obviously that's the Blue Ting. Blue Ting can add itself. That's really interesting. I didn't know that it could. So that is pretty interesting. It can add itself when it is sent to the graveyard, so that is pretty cool. He gets a pretty good advantage off of that. Sea Angel is going to be link summoned here off of the Pascalis, being linked off, obviously. Battle Ocean is going to be link summoned here, and Seahorse is going to be special summoned due to its own effect, linking off into a copy of Coral Anemone. Then he can use that effect to bring back Sea Angel, link off into the Crystal Heart, activate Battle Ocean, and then just make the link 4. Battle Ocean will go ahead and equip everything back, and I believe that Coral Anemone adds back the Blue Ting back to hand, which he can pitch for the Swap Frog, which will add the Ronin Totem back to hand. Then he can pitch the Blue Ting yet again for another one to send a Swap Frog, banish the Swap Frog, bring the Ronin Totem to field, overlay for a copy of Toad, and he still has a free extender in the form of Monster Reborn. Honestly, he probably could have kept the Marincess Blue Ting in the hand, but realistically, I don't think it matters. He just has an extender for the next turn, so... Toad's effect is going to be activated in the standby phase, special summoning a copy of Dupe Frog. So he has a negate, and Bubble Reef should get him a draw here by banishing out a grave as well. So he's got a pretty good advantage following into the next turn. Obviously, he's going to get a Toad special, probably for another Swap Frog out of deck. This Bubble Reef can get him an extra draw, and it's unaffected by everything right now, and he has a negate, and... Wolf can only attack the Dupe Frog, which is pretty rough here. So all the B.E.S monsters they're pretty cool. So like Cannon Core can special summon itself here, and B.E.F Zelos makes them all Magispectors, which can be really cool. So I think he's probably going to start off with that. Hopefully, we'll see here. So Monster Reborn actually activated first. That is a very weird play. I don't know if that's accurate, because like. Maybe activating this B.E.F Zelos, maybe he's trying to like bait the Toad, obviously. That could be a valid reason, but I think that waiting on this Monster Reborn would be really smart. If he activates Smonic Stormforth, you're pretty much forced to use Toad's effect to negate, and then you can Monster Reborn their Toad back to your field, and then you're free to play, basically. So I think that is a very smart play for him to do if he did that, but he opted not to do that, and he's opting to bait the Toad with the Monster Reborn, which I think is just going to let it go through. He's just going to take Heart, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. There's nothing he's really going to link off with this, but B.E.F Zelos is going to be activated here. Toad is going to negate and get rid of Dupe Frog. So he does tribute the Dupe Frog, which is a little unfortunate, but still fine. B.E.S Blaster Core is summoned in defense mode, which I think is obviously the wrong choice here as well. Summon this in attack mode, you can just clear over the Toad. There's no reason to summon it in defense mode. Then he's just going to set a copy of Monarch Stormforth, which I don't think is the right play either. I think you should just straight up activate this and then tribute over even the Toad is fine. You can tribute over the Bubble Reef since it's unaffected by monster effects, but it still could be really cool to maybe like do B.E.S Terran and then maybe like link off this Crystal Heart with the B.E.S Terran, like tribute over the Toad, obviously, link these two off into like a unicorn and then spin back the back row. And then this will be reduced by quite a bit, but I guess he's not opting to do that. I don't know, I definitely feel like there was a line of play that he could have cleared all of his monsters. I mean, it's still possible, I think, right now, if he had the Stormforth on hand, because he could link off into a unicorn, shuffle back the Battle Ocean, and then he could activate this Stormforth and tribute the Bubble Reef for this B.E.S Terran in his hand. And then he could crash the unicorn into the Toad, and then Terran can attack directly if he wants. He doesn't have to, obviously. It also looks like it has its second effect where you can remove a counter on this card to destroy a spell or trap on the field, which is also very important because you can obviously just activate Stormforth, tribute the Toad, special summon it, pop the Battle Ocean, use the B.E.S Blaster Core to attack over, and then the Crystal Heart's just kind of sitting there, which you could use as link material if you wanted to, but I don't think there was any reason for this to be on the field. But he definitely had an out to his field. So he's going to use B.E.S Terran to tribute over the Crystal Heart, which doesn't make a lot of sense either. You just used a Monster Born for no reason, I think, there. But he is going to go to pop the Battle Ocean, which is fine. But there's no way to get rid of either of his monsters, so I don't think that there's a whole lot. He's just going to pass here. Reef is going to use its effect in the standby phase, banishing Dupe Frog to draw a card. I'm not sure if banishing Dupe Frog was the best option. Maybe it was. I don't know. I don't know exactly how like Marincess plays, but like I know that like Toad getting a summon back would be really nice, but I don't know. Then a copy of Basilisk is going to be banished here to add one from the grave to hand, which is Battle Ocean, and then he's just going to go ahead and probably reactivate it here. And then he can go ahead and activate Pinpoint Landing to special, well, it won't special, but when he special summons, he can draw a card, which he's probably going to do with a Swap Frog, or no, Reef effect, discarding 2 special. Landing is going to give him a draw, and then a Blue Slug is going to be, actually, I'm not sure why Pinpoint Landing gets him a draw. I could be missing something, but I thought that was summoned from Banish Zone. I think so. I don't know. I'm not sure why Pinpoint Landing gives him a draw there, but Blue Slug is going to be using its effect as well as Tang to get him a add from the deck to hand. So now he basically has a Marincess Wave, which is like an impermanence. Then Seahorse is going to be added as well. And Mandarin's going to summon itself back. I think he picked the wrong zone. I don't think it matters, actually. He's just going to link it off for a Sea Angel. Use the effect to search for a Battle Ocean again. Link those 2 off into a copy of Coral Anemone, which should bring back this blue Tang. And then he can link those 2 off into a copy of Marbled Rock. And then he can use Coral's effect to go ahead and add itself back. Rod's effect add another one back as well. Then he can go ahead and he's going to boost the Reef. Obviously, well, the Reef gets boosted by its own effect because a lot of cards are banished. If we count them up, we have the 2,000 boost from here. Mandarin was banished, and I believe Dupe Frog was banished. I don't think the Pascos was banished. I could be wrong, though, but that is 3,200 right there. So this should be at 58. It could be higher. I don't remember if this Pascos was banished this turn or not. Marincess Wave is going to be activated here from the hand, targeting the Cannon Core, and it loses all of the counters, unfortunately. Then the copy of Bubble Reef is going to be swinging over it. Then the Toad's going to attack. He's going to take 400 damage, lose a counter. And then the Marbled Rock is going to attack it and lose a counter as well. So now it has no more counters. I don't think it dies. I think it stays on the field until it has no counters and then is attacked. So, yeah, he has no counters and he stays on the field, so they correct that game state there. He passes this turn, and then the effect of Bubble Reef should activate in the standby phase. I think... Okay, they're just clarifying that game state there. Bubble Reef is going to be using its effect to draw a card. Monarch Stormforth is activated here, and he can go ahead and tribute one. Toad's going to negate it, which is pretty good as well. Then this copy of B.E.S Blaster Core is going to be activated here, and then it's going to use the effect to give it some tokens, and Veiler's going to drop on it, or not tokens, but counters. And yeah, so yeah, they're just kind of staying there. Toad is going to be banished off of Bubble Reef to get a draw, and then Swap Frog is going to be special summoned, banishing the Ronin Toadin. He can get rid of another Ronin and get a second copy of Toad, or maybe it's the same copy of Toad. Oh no, the second one got banished, or the first one got banished rather. But honestly, this game's pretty like done at this point. Monster Born's going to bring back this copy of Blue Tang, which he probably should have just reborn a second Toad. I think that would have been better, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Link off into a Blue Slug, which is... Oh, okay, never mind. The link arrow does point there. You can add this Pascalis to hand, and this Blue Slug should be able to add back the Blue Tang as well. Or Seahorse, actually, it looks like. And then he goes ahead and uses Mandarin's effect. Was that from the Banish Zone? Or is this... I think this is actually Bubble Reefed effects to send one and then draw one. Something like that. Then he's going to go ahead and go into a Coral Anemone, bringing back the Blue Tang. special summoning Seahorse from the hand. He has a lot of monsters on the field. I think it's pretty much over at this point. So Toad's going to hit for 22, Tank hits for 17, Coral Anemone for 22, and Seahorse for 16, if I did my math correctly there. And 22 for game. Yep, so that's going to do it for game number 1. So moving into game number 2, it looks like Wolf is going to be opting to go first. And he draws into a pretty interesting hand. Celestial Observatory is a pretty cool inclusion in the deck because you're playing a lot of level 6 B.E.S monsters, so being able to put them back into the deck is pretty cool, and draw 2 cards. So B.E.F Zealous is going to be picked up here. He's going to activate and add a copy of Boss Rush from the deck to hand as well, and he can go ahead and use this copy of B.E.S Big Core, get a free special summon off of that. And Zealous can also get an effect here, I think, to special summon one from hand, maybe? Or no, I think it gives it another counter. I could be wrong. I thought so, maybe? Oh yes, so if a B.E.S monster is normal special summon in your field, you get an extra counter, so pretty cool. And then Boss Rush is activated here, which is a pretty cool card. It basically makes all your B.E.S monsters float in the end phase, which is kind of nice. Blue Tang is going to be activated here, or normal summoned here, going into a sending Seahorse from the deck to grave, linking that off into a blue Slug. He can use a Blue Tang and Slug's effect to get a draw from landing, it looks like. Actually, I'm not sure why Pinpoint Landing got a draw there, because Blue Slug will summon from the extra deck, not from the hand. So I think that is not correct. That doesn't make sense why he's getting the draw of Pinpoint Landing. I think he's reading the card wrong. I'm not too sure though. But he's going to add the Seahorse back to hand. He's going to get the draw anyways off of Pinpoint Landing. I think he just drew at the wrong time, but I don't think it really matters. Sea Angel is going to be special summoned here into the, he's going to search for a copy of Battle Ocean. Mandarin's going to summon from hand, I believe that was, maybe it was from grave, I don't remember. And linking off into a copy of Coral Anemone, which will bring back this copy of Seahorse. He can link those off into the Crystal Heart, activate Battle Ocean, and then he should be able to link those off into the Link 4 Bubble Reef, and then equip 3 back from the graveyard. Maybe just 2, because he does have 2 trap cards, so we'll see. Nope, he's just going to go straight for 3. Then he's going to go ahead and use this Bubble Reef to attack over the Big Core. And he's going to take a little bit of damage and pass his turn. So, Reef's effect is going to be activated, and he's going to banish a card and draw a card. And in the standby phase, he's going to use Mask of Restrict, which is just in time, because this Humongous is in hand, so it was honestly perfect. I don't think the timing could have been better. I don't know why he's summoning from hand off of Kaiju Slumber. It has to be from deck. It can't be from hand, so he definitely can't be doing this. Yeah, so I think Goofy Ghost does correct that here. I don't know if he has targets. He just says he doesn't have targets, so that's unfortunate. He's just going to switch his monster to defense mode and pass his turn. So yeah, Mask of Restrict is absolutely coming in clutch here. Bubble Reef is going to be activated, pitching the barrier statue to special back the Mandarin. And he can probably link this off for another like Marincess, like Sea Angel, yep. But he doesn't have a target in deck, but that's fine. Mandarin's going to special summon itself back with its own effect, linking it off into a copy of Coral Anemone. Then he can use the he's probably just normal summon the Blue Tang, and then he can use the effect to send Seahorse to grave, link that off into probably the Link 1 Blue Slug. Maybe he's not using it. He's using Coral's effect. Oh, Coral to bring back the barrier statue. That's pretty good now. He's locked into waters, or both players are locked into waters. Marbled Rock is going to be summoned here. Seahorse is going to be added back to the hand as well from the copy of, I think from the Marbled Rock, or maybe... Or no, from Coral's effect, the Link 2, that's right. And then Tang can use its effect as well. He can add a copy of Pascalis to hand. And yeah, this is honestly pretty good. He's looking at a lot of advantage here. So I think that he's honestly just going to pretty much steamroll over this B.E.S monster. He has to discard for hand size limit in the end phase, getting rid of the impermanence. Reef is going to get him a draw into Pascalis, and the Celestial Observatory is going to send back this level 6 to draw 2. And he just has to set this Metaverse and pass his turn. So unfortunately, the Mask of Restrict is just putting in a lot of work here. If he could just tribute over this Bubble Reef, it would be really nice. But you can't do much against Massive Restrict, honestly. It's unfortunate. Reef is going to use its effect to discard Pascalus to special summon Mandarin back, and then he can go ahead and special summon Pascalus from the hand, and link off into a link 3 into a second Marbled Rock, probably using both effects here. I'm actually not sure if it is a once per turn effect. It looks like it is a hard once per turn effect, so that's kind of rough, but like realistically not that bad. Then he's going to summon Wonder Heart, which is pretty interesting as well. Should be able to summon, oh, it's only to the ones that are equipped to him, so you can't summon the ones that are equipped to Bubble Reef, which is a little unfortunate, but don't think it really matters. Yeah, so he's just going to go ahead and attack over, and then use this effect of Marbled Rock. He could also use the Barrier Statue to attack 100 into it. He'd take 100 damage, but then he'd deal more damage with the Bubble Reef. I think that could have actually possibly been game. Since it's at 52, yeah, he definitely could have probably won there, since if this card is attacked, you remove a counter from it, and if you can't, you destroy it. So it doesn't matter if it loses the battle. If he switched this turn to attack mode and attacked into it, he'd take the 1,000 or 100 damage. It would get destroyed due to its own effect since it has no counters, and then this Marbled Rock could have just attacked for 27, which would have been game. So unfortunately he missed it, but realistically it doesn't matter since he's just going to go pass his turn. The next turn he's just going to attack directly with Bubble Reef, and that should be game, honestly. So yeah, it was pretty crazy. It looks like there was like a misclick here, but realistically it doesn't matter. He does no plays anyways, so it's a little unfortunate. He forgot to use Boss Rush's effect, I believe, since his B.E.S monster was destroyed. He just forgot to use Boss Rush, which is a little unfortunate. I think if he would have summoned the one that popped the spell and traps, he would have had at least a better chance, maybe popping this Mask of Restrict, and then tributing over the Kaiju. That would have been pretty nice if he did do something like that. That would have been, at least a really good comeback, I think, on his part. But I think he did miss that play. I believe it's I don't remember which one it is, but it is the 1800 attack one, the level 6 guy. That's the one that pops the spell and trap. So if he would have cleared this Mask of Restrict on his turn, that would have been really nice just to follow up with the Kaiju play. But unfortunately, I think he missed that play altogether. I definitely think he could have had at least a fighting chance in game number 1, but I think that he just misplayed a little bit, unfortunately. But that's going to do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another one.